Okay, everyone. So what I would like you to do is just come and sit yourself down into a comfortable seated position, and feel free just to take a moment to really settle into a position that feels right for you. So you can sit into a chair or on the couch if you wish. Otherwise, just sitting on the floor. I'm sitting on a cushion because I enjoy having a little bit of height under my hips so that my knees can just soften and sit down. And then just ensure wherever you are that you've really lifted the flesh from your sit bones so that you can engage the sit bones right into the floor and lengthen up your spine. So if you are in a chair, just do the same things, just almost, you want to tilt that pelvis slightly forward so that you're lengthening up through the spine and just relax into the shoulders. So from there, just take a moment. We're going to close them with our eyes. Now it's up to you if you want to rest your hands just onto your lap with the palms face up. You can just touch your thumb and index finger. It's just going to create a circle of energy within your body. And if you would rather, you can place your hands just into your lap. So whatever feels right for you. Some days, you really notice that you want to open and be out. Other days you want to sit in. So just do what feels right at this moment. Close in with your eyes and just take a moment to settle into your position, your space. Observing the breath, calming with the mind. So take a big deep breath in. Breathe in through your nose. And sigh the breath out through the mouth. In through the nose again. And out through the mouth. Just calming with the mind, bringing your thoughts and awareness to the here and the now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a variation of Nadi Shodan. Nadi Shodan is alternate nostril breathing. So feel free to open with your eyes and just watch me and then follow along when you are ready. We're going to use our thumb and our fore or little finger to block off each nostril. Hope you can see me okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by using our thumb to block off our right nostril. Now, normally in our alternate nostril breathing, we breathe in through one nostril, open the other, and exhale out the other. This time we're going to breathe in and out through one nostril at a time, and then open the other nostril and in and out through the same side. So I'll talk you through it. Let's close in with our right nostril with your thumb. So you're using your right hand. You can support your elbow with your left hand if you need. Otherwise, just rest your hand into your lap. Closing your right nostril. We're going to big deep breath in through the left. Pause just for a count. And then we're going to exhale out through the left nostril. We're going to close off with the left nostril now with either our fourth finger or our little finger, whatever feels right. And then inhale through the right. Pause and exhale out the right nostril. That's all it is. Let's repeat. Closing the right. Inhale through the left. Small pause at the top and exhale out the left. Closing the left. Inhale through the right. Closing at the right, exhaling out the right. And then closing the right to inhale. So let's inhale for a count. So let's inhale for the count of 4. You're going to pause for a count of 2 and then exhale for the count of 4. Close the left nostril. Inhale for the count of 4. Pause for the count of 2 and exhale when you're ready for the count of 4. Continue. Let's repeat. Inhale for 4. Pause for 2. Exhale for 4. Close the left, open the right. Inhale for 4. Pause for 2. And exhale for 4. Keeping it going at your pace. Opening the right, inhale. Opening the left. Opening the right. Opening the left, last round. Finish on the right side. Open the right, inhale. Just release with your hand, close your eyes if you haven't. Just pause for a moment. As I mentioned earlier, that is a variation of our Nadi Shodan, but it's still activating both sides of the brain. So what this practice is really good for is clearing the mind, bringing around a sense of concentration and allowing that mind to come back into clarity. So if you're finding your focus a little off, sometimes when you do your alternate nostril breathing, it allows both sides of the brain to get into function, and so that you can think more clearly about the task ahead. So hopefully you're feeling a little clearer. Sometimes breathing practices can bring around some sense of dizziness, so always be mindful when you're doing these practices that you don't overdo them. Just closing with your eyes, opening with your eyes, just in your own space. Nice. And then just taking your time to come around onto all fours onto your mat. So we're just coming into an all fours position, and from there just gently sinking our weight back towards our heels as we lengthen forward into our arms. Just soften as you wriggle forward with your arms and lengthen forward into the arms, lifting up onto your fingertips, extending backwards with your tailbone, feeling that space open up through the armpits. And then releasing down with your hands with the forearms, and then slowly lifting up onto the forearms as we now just gently bring our weight forward towards our hands and then back towards our heels, just warming up through those shoulders. So forward towards the hands and back towards the heels. So you can really allow your eyes to just gently draw forward as your upper body comes forward. And then as you sit back towards the heels, tuck in with your eyes towards your knees. Let's just do this one more time, moving forward and back. Pause with your arms forward. We're now in your own space. When we're ready, we're going to come up onto all fours. And then just gently do the same thing by rounding into the spine. And then releasing and curling the spine in the other direction. Lifting up with the eyes. So again, tucking in with the tailbone first, curling through the spine, feeling that ripple sensation coming into the back as you tuck in with your chin last, and then curling away through the tailbone, one vertebra at a time, lengthening forward into the eyes. So again, let's just do this one more time, rounding through the spine, tailbone in first, arching into the back, and then gently release, curling away, lifting into the eyes. Nice. So just return to a neutral tabletop position and sit the buttocks back towards the heels again. Extend forward into the arms. And this time release back down onto the forearms. So we're going to come up onto our forearms again. So hands are face down into the mat, spread your fingers wide. We're going to tuck under with our toes, and this time gently draw our weight back towards our heels as we reach up into your hips, into your little dolphin. So just lengthening up into the back of the heels, back of the knees, back of the thighs, and then just slowly encourage the heels back towards the mat. Expanding and lengthening into the legs, strengthening through the shoulders. Lift back up onto the toes, down onto your knees, and sit back, child's pose. Just gently rest, folding the forearms over, sitting back. Breathe. Extend your arms out. Lift back up onto all fours, bring that weight forward, and then tuck back. Let's just do that one more time. Roll forward, bring the eyes forward, and then tuck back. So a little bit of work coming into the upper arms. Come back up onto your forearms, tuck under with your toes, raise up into your hips, and up onto the toes again. Just going to tuck myself in. And feel everything fall forward. So lifting up through the back of the legs, and then this time, if you wish, you can work a little bit of strength by gently drawing the weight forward over your hands, and then coming back. So bring the weight forward if you like, eyes draw forward, and then exhale, tuck them back. One more time. Inhale back, lift up onto the toes, down onto the knees, and sit back, child's pose. So just gently round into the spine, sitting back and breathe. Let's take your arms out now as we set ourselves up for our Ardha Mukha Shavasana. So coming up, downward dog, onto all fours, tucking the toes, raising back and up into the arms and legs, lengthening back into the heels, walking the heels one at a time, just opening as best you can through your calves. Breathe. And then from here, just gently draw up onto the toes, down onto your knees. This time coming forward with the chest, and then slowly slide yourselves forward and through as you come up onto the forearm. So soften into your shoulders. Just gently draw yourself up, draw that belly button in, lengthen upwards. And now just gently draw that left knee up towards that left elbow and gaze over your left shoulder. And then pushing back with your left foot. Let's draw upwards through the right knee, up towards your elbow, lifting up through the upper body, gaze over to the right. And push back. Let's just do once more to either side. So left knee draws up, inhale, lengthen up. Gently pushing back through the left leg, and then up with the right knee, over that right shoulder, and gently pushing back with the right leg. Slowly lower back down, bring the hands under the shoulders, elbows under the ribs, and gently draw up, tucking the toes, and we're going to draw back up into your downward dog. So raising up into the hips, and again, just walk the heels. So getting nice and long, nice and free. Bring your feet 1/2 foot distance closer towards your hands. Just 1/2 foot. From here, we're going to take our right hand to the outside of our left leg. From there, we're just going to gently draw our eyes under that left armpit and extend ourselves up and under the left arm. Continuing to charge both heels back, breathing, lengthening, feeling that twist in through the upper body, length through the back and through the legs. As you gently release, take that right hand back and swap it over to the other side. So right hand to the outside of that right leg. Left hand to the outside of the right leg. And looking under the right arm. Breathe. And then gently, when you're ready, we'll release that left hand back. And then from there, we're going to raise up through our right leg into our three-legged dog. So we'll keep our hips square to the floor. Gently pushing back through the ball of that right foot, long into the arms, soften through your shoulders, keep the top of the head and gently encouraging towards the floor. Lengthen back through that left heel. It's a slightly shortened downward dog stance, so you may find that you can take the heel to the floor just a little further. And then from there, lift up onto the toes of the left foot. Eyes draw forward and step through with your right foot, taking the right foot between the hands, taking that left knee to the floor. Sweep up into the arms, raise them all the way up as you soften down through the shoulders. So you extend it upwards and then just release down. Create that space into the neck. Really encouraging the hips forward, opening up into the left hip flexor, lengthening and gazing and taking a twist. We're going to lengthen forward with the left arm as we reach back into the right. So extend the arms out shoulder height and lengthen back. And you can turn your gaze out to the right. Just soften the shoulders, keep the neck long, keep upward through the frontal spine. Soften and breathe. And then slowly inhale, raise up into the arms. Exhale, gently release forward. So from here, we're going to lift up on the left knee, step back into our plank. So it'll be a wider stance than where that left foot will be. Soften into the shoulders, belly button draws in. Nice and strong through the core. Just pause here for a moment as we take the right knee to the floor and then pick it back up. Left knee to the floor and back up. Right knee to the floor and back up. Left knee to the floor and back up. Once more to either side. Right knee down and back up. Left knee down and back up. Down onto your knees, forward with your chest. Inhale, forward and through. So slowly drawing forward into the arms. Let's take the hands shoulder a little bit wider than your shoulders, I should say. Fingertips spread wide and then just gently lift up onto the hands as you draw that belly button back to the spine. See if you can lengthen into the arms, keeping them soft through the elbows. Soft into the shoulders, draw the shoulder blades in and towards each other. Belly button back to the spine, thighs and tops of the feet into the mat. And gently release, slowly coming on down. Hands under the shoulders, elbows in at the ribs. Let's draw back into your child's pose. So head stays low, hips go back. Gently release and curl and breathe and pause. Just pause. When you're ready, lengthen out into your arms and slowly draw up onto all fours, tucking your toes, raising up into your downward facing dog. So long into the arms again. Now just to make it even through the right side, we're going to step our right foot in about a half a foot distance and then the left. This time we're going to lengthen the left leg out behind us. So we're keeping our right leg into the floor, we're lengthening back through our left foot, working through the ball of the foot, extending back through the heel of the right as well. Breathing. Long into the arms, soften through the shoulders, head towards the floor, and then raise up onto the right toes, eyes draw forward, swing through with that left foot, placing it between the hands, right knee down. Inhale, raise up into the arms, lengthen upwards through the upper body, extend up into the arms, soften and breathe down through your shoulders, lengthening into the neck. Beautiful. So extend forward into your right arm, left arm lengthens back, shoulder width apart, or shoulder height, and gazing out towards the left as far as you feel comfortable. Breathe. And then slowly, when you're ready, we'll inhale up into the arms, and then just gently float the hands back down, raise up onto the toes of that right foot, slip back into your left foot. So you're back into your plank, step that right foot back just a little. Let's breathe. Let's take that right foot off the floor and then just make a circular motion with your toes, keeping the right leg straight, making a circle with the entire right leg, and it might only be a circle the size of a sellotape roll. Just gently breathing. Let's take that right foot back down and let's try the left leg. So left leg back and then just gently make a circular motion, keeping that left leg straight. Breathe. And then take the left foot back down, down onto your knees, down into your chest, coming forward and through, and slowly, if you've got the warmth in the back, you can keep the hands under the shoulders, otherwise move the hands forward, and gently allow yourself to lengthen up, soften into the shoulders, draw that belly button back in, breathe. and gently float back down. And again, come to rest into the child's pose. So the head stays low, elbows close to the ribs, hips go back, and gently curl yourself back around, folding over with the arms, resting back and down. Breathe. So from here, we're going to come up into standing and work a little bit more balance and into our core, and then into some standing flow. So let's bring our knees together. Let's lift up onto all fours, tuck your toes under. Just pause here by opening back into the soles of the feet. Walking your hands back towards your knees. Just pause. And then if you feel that you've got the strength really and the flexibility into the back of the toes and soles of the feet, we're just going to take our hands off the floor. Now, if that's too strong or too much for you tonight, just keep your hands down onto the knees or onto the floor. That's absolutely fine. If you can, lengthen out into the arms. Open as you expand. So we're lifting up through the frontal spine, extending back into the arms, just taking them back behind the line of the shoulders, just so that you can feel that you're squeezing those shoulder blades in towards each other. And then if you can, raise up into the arms, palms come together, and gently bring down hands into prayer. Nice. So let's just take the hands all the way down to the floor. Lift your knees from the mat into your balance. So we're going to take the hands off the floor. You're going to keep your heels off the mat. Lengthen upwards through the frontal spine. And then from there, we're going to stand up by keeping the heels off the mat. So just gently raise yourself up, coming all the way up into standing, working to strengthen your thighs. And then when you're ready, we'll just slowly lower back down, heels to the floor. You are up into standing. So just stand where you are, somewhere comfortable on your mat. Your feet, your hip width apart, whatever distance it is right for you. If you want to check, 2 fists distance between the arches of the feet. Relax into your shoulders, and let's pause into your Tadasana. So close in with your eyes, and just acknowledge that you are now standing in your mat, in your space. We're going to move into our Vrikasana. So just as you've got your eyes closed, imagine yourself into your tree pose. So I'll come and stand and face just a little bit more towards you so you can see what I'm doing today. Let's bring our hands into prayer as we open with our eyes. So find somewhere along the wall or the floor for you to focus on. So try to keep your eyes directly focused on that spot that you have gained now. So we're going to take our weight over to the left foot as we just gently now turn the right knee out to the side. Keep your right toes down and towards the floor, the mat, and the heel just placed up along the leg. When you feel that you've got that space lengthened up through the midline of the body, so you're drawing that belly button in, and then just gently allow that leg of your right foot to gently draw upwards so that you are placed just over the left knee. If you're familiar with this one and it's quite comfortable, feel free to lift that right foot a little higher to place in against your left thigh, really connecting the thigh in towards the foot. Now you might wish just to stay here at this moment because that's enough for you, for your core, your balance, your mind. If your mind is really busy, your balance will be off. So it may not be that you're no good at balance, it may be that you need to calm and quieten the mind. So meditation is really wonderful, as is any pranayama being breathing practices. So like we did at the start today, any of those practices are going to be really good for calming the mind. We've done enough talking on this side. Let's lower with that right leg when you're ready. And then we'll try to the left. We'll come back to that one. So again, keeping that focus and then taking your weight over to the right foot, and we'll turn out with that left foot. So let's tuck the toes down into the floor. Wait until you've got that balance through your supporting right leg. And then just gently draw the leg up, resting over the knee. And it's totally up to you. One side is often easier than the other. If you really want to connect and place the sole of the foot right into the thigh. So it's those two that are pushing against each other. If you sort of go soft, then that foot will slip down. So you need to be strong and contracted into that right thigh to really work towards that left foot. So it's the thigh and the foot that are working towards each other. Lifting upwards through the middle of the body, soften down into your shoulders, long into your head and neck. So imagine somebody's lifting you right up through the top of your spine. Breathing. This is wonderful. I can't see you, but I'm sure you're doing a fabulous job. And then slowly, gently release by taking the left foot back down. So if you want to just shake out and release through your hands and your legs, you can. We're going to come back. We're going to do another round of Vrksasana, tree pose. So just gently, when you're ready, come back into your balance, your Tadasana, I should say. Realign that focus, that position that you have with your eyes into the wall or a particular point at which you want to focus on. Draw your hands into the heart, into prayer. And again, we'll start by taking our weight over to the left foot and turn out with your right knee. Slide that foot up as and when you're ready. And again, position it at whatever height you choose. The aim is to open out with that right knee, but just watch that as you open it, you're also opening out the left side of your hip. So you're not opening out the right and turning with your whole body out to the right. So you're going to try and open both hips out. Tuck the tailbone down, draw that belly button in with your hands into your heart. If it's comfortable, you can then raise the arms straight up to the sky. And for most people, there tends to be a tightness through the head and the neck. So we'll open the arms. We'll lengthen up into the arms like a tree would. And we're gently breathing. If by taking these arms up above the head, it's made you wobble, come back to your breath. Come back to a quiet mind. Bring the arms down in front of the heart if you choose. Breathe. And then in your own space, just return the hands to prayer. Slowly bring them down and release your right foot back down to the floor. Balance is a really good balance, a really good one to practice. Take the weight over to the right foot, turn out with your left knee, and just take your time as you work your way up with your left leg. And again, work through the outside of the body and extend it up when you are ready into the arms. Soften into the shoulders, be long through the neck. Bring the head right back on top of the shoulders. Breathe. Beautiful balancing trees. And then when you're ready, bring the hands back down in front of the heart. And return that left leg back down to the floor. And again, just release. Shake out through your wrists. Shake out through your feet. Sometimes it's really good just to give your ankles a really good wobble. And same with the other one. Give it a wee shake out. And then just come and stand somewhere comfortable for you to work into the middle of your mat so that you can step just a little bit further back. We'll start with our Trikonasana. We're going to fold forward. So we'll start, so you've got your feet directly under your hips. We'll start by taking our left leg back. So I'll step my left foot back about 3 feet wide. I'm going to open with that left foot out to about its 30 degrees, opening out with our hips. It's a shorter, slightly narrower stance of our Trikonasana. We're not going too wide today. So opening out into the arms, looking over your right extended arm. I'm going to lengthen over. So really just exaggerate that extension over to the right. Lower down with that right arm and lengthen up with the left to the sky. So really trying to tuck under with the tailbone, draw the belly button nice and long through the body as you extend down into the arm, left arm to the sky. Breathe. Let's work a little bit of core strength before we work into the hamstrings. So of course we're working in through that right thigh, down through the left side of the torso as we extend up. We're now going to take that left arm over the head so that the arm is almost hugging into the left ear. So the arm is now parallel to the floor. Left arm's parallel to the floor. The belly button draws right in. We're going to extend that right arm so it's now parallel to the left arm. So breathe. Imagine somebody's really holding onto your wrists, they're lengthening you outwards, but your legs are drawing you back and in. So the legs are drawing and charging back through that left tailbone while the arms are extending out to the right. And then from there, we're going to rotate over to that right leg. Slowly lower down with your hands towards the thigh, the knee, and or the shin. Just turn your toes of the left foot forward, just a little bit. And then from there, we're going to encourage the right sit bone back. Breathe. We're going into a twist first. So the right side of the buttocks back. The left hip gently draws forward. So just take the time to really align yourself. It's really important to sort of feel that those hips are squared. From there, we're going to take that right hand onto the small of the lower back. And then take your left hand just to the outside of that right leg and just slowly start to encourage that upper body to twist around to the right. So moving into another balance, into a wee twist. So you're going to feel this down through the left calf. Balance strong through the legs as those stabilizing muscles really work into those shins and tops of the feet. And then as you twist up and back, you're twisting through the spine, through the shoulders, breathing. As you release, you're slowly coming back around to that right foot. You're going to extend forward and out with the arms. So your upper body now comes down to about parallel to the floor. So you're lengthening forward into the arms, you're drawing back through that right tailbone, you're really working through that front right hamstring, through the back of that left calf. The arms are forward, the belly button draws in, breathe. If you have the stability and you wish to continue, palms can come together and you can lower down with your hands towards the shin, the foot or the floor, and the upper body to fold forward over that right leg. Continue to lengthen back through that right side of your buttocks. Breathe and gently rotate forward through your left hip. Breathe. And then softening with that right knee. So bending into your right knee, placing the hands down either side of the right foot. Step your left foot in together to the right, or so it's, again, your hip width apart. Relax and dangle through the upper body. Just pause here as you bend into your knees. Allow the upper body to hang over the thighs and sink your weight forward. And then slowly from there, lengthen into the back of the legs, keeping the knees soft, and then roll back up through your spine. So just gently rolling, 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 coming all the way up to standing. And breathe. Nice. So let's try that to the other side. So this time we're going to take the right foot back. And again, starting at about your 3 feet wide, we'll turn our right foot out at about our 30 degrees. We're going to open the hips out to the right. Lengthen the arms out to your shoulder height, softening into the shoulders. And then you're going to extend forward and over that left arm. So you really just lengthened over. And then lower down with the left arm. Raise that right arm to the sky. Breathe. Make any little adjustment you need to so that you're tucking that tailbone right underneath the body. You're expanding and opening through your right hip. The right arm is up. And again, you can gaze up towards the right arm or looking forward is fine. And just soften with the right shoulder. Breathing. Breathing. When you're ready, we'll extend that right arm over towards the right ear. So lengthen the right arm over so that the arm becomes parallel to the floor. Drawing your belly button in, we're going to raise the left arm so that the left arm is now parallel to the right arm. Breathing. Remember to keep reaching forward, lengthening forward into the arms, charging back through your hips, through the legs. Breathing. And then slowly turning the upper body so that it now faces over that the left leg. You're going to fold forward over the hands. So the hands come down onto the left thigh, knee or shin. Turning with your right toes. So it's just a matter of flicking the heel out to the side so that the toes are almost now facing forward. So from there, we're gently going to lengthen back through the left sit bone, forward into the right. So we've just squared off our hips just a little. Then we're going to take the left hand towards that lower back or the small of the back. Bring the right hand to the outside of that left leg, wherever it can reach, whatever feels right for you. And then just gently lengthen up and back with that left shoulder, continuing as we move into a little twist. So this is actually reverse trikonasana, reverse triangle pose. So slowly soften down into the shoulders, twisting, lengthening back, feeling that right calf open up, the stabilizing muscles through the feet and shins of both legs, the twisting and lengthening back and through the shoulders, up that, breathing. Nice. And then from there, we're slowly going to come back around to the front. Lengthen those arms out now. So if you can, we'll bring our upper body forward. So it's about parallel to the floor. We'll think about lengthening back with that left sit bone just a little bit further. Bringing the upper body forward. You can either hold here, or if you wish, palms together, and slowly lower down the hands towards the floor or the foot or the shin, whatever you can reach. And then just gently encourage the upper body forward. So it's a hip to knee pose, focusing on that left hamstring. It's a bit of balance again. So it's a lot of strong work into the legs. Breathing. And then when you're ready, just release with the hands as we bend that left knee and bring our weight forward with the right foot. So that both feet are forward now. Relax and dangle with your arms, bend the knees, allow the thighs just to support the upper body as you just pause and hang like a rag doll. And then from there, just slowly straighten through the back of the legs and then roll up through your spine as you come all the way up to standing. Gently lengthening up. Let's reach up into the arms. Interlock your fingers. Keep your index finger extended. Lengthen up into the arms as best you can. So we're now going to draw down through the heels. Lengthen through the legs. Straighten into the arms. And then move into a small back extension. Squeeze the buttocks, the back. Lengthening back as far as you feel comfortable. And then slowly draw up. Release the arms, swan dive. Bend the knees. Folding at the hips, coming all the way forward and down. Inhale, raise the eyes. Lengthen back, exhale, fold forward. So if you've got enough room, step back with your right foot into a big lunge. Pause here, just gently draw back with that right leg. Lengthen up into the left arm, soften into the shoulders. Encourage that right heel back, breathing. Loving my twists today. And then slowly release by taking that left arm back. Step back with your left leg. Just gently breathe down onto your knees, your chest. Inhale forward and through. The body may be warm. You choose the alternative if you wish, with the hands forward or directly under the shoulders as you've got them. Slowly release forward and down. Gently draw up into your Adho Mukha Shavasana, raising up, breathing. From there, we're going to raise up into our right leg for our three-legged dog. So raising up with the right foot. Open up with your right hip if it's comfortable. Release the heel to the buttocks. And now challenge back with that right foot. Open that right foot back as far as you feel comfortable, keeping both arms to the ground. Breathe. Raise up with that right leg. Extend all the way up. Bring your hips back square to the mat. And then extend forward with your right knee. So coming into your pigeon. Soften into the shoulders. Left leg extends back, sole of the foot to the sky. Draw upwards with the upper body. Soften down. Lengthen the left hip forward. And then come and lay yourself down. It's been a long, strong workout. So soften down. Folding over with your hands and resting the forehead onto the back of the hands. If you prefer, of course, you can lengthen out into the arms and come and rest now. Just take a moment to pause here and just breathe and Be into the moment, be into the position, and just observe how that's feeling for you, especially for the back, the hips, the knee. A lot of tension for a lot of people can need to be held into the shoulders, but the hips and glutes especially. So breathe into those areas. Acknowledge them for what they are and just be ever so grateful for just having that space. And then when you're ready, we're slowly going to walk our hands then up, coming back up into a kneeling position. Well, you've lifted back up, sorry. Tucking under with your left toes, hands are down either side of that right foot. You're going to step back with your right foot into your downward dog, raising up into your hips. From there, we're going to raise the right leg from the floor again, just so that we can now lift up onto the left foot, eyes draw forward and step through with your right foot. And then gently step forward with your left foot, eyes are to the knees. Inhale, raise your eyes. Exhale, fold forward. Roll up through your spine, sweeping the arms. Let's raise all the way up. Interlock your fingers. Lengthen up with your index finger. Squeeze through the thigh, the buttocks, the back, small back extension. And then slowly drawing back up as you float all the way forward and down again. Inhale up with the eyes. Exhale, fold forward. Right leg steps back. So it's a big lunge. No, sorry. Apologies, it's the left leg. My left and right's got them terrible. And so left leg extends back, and now we're going to raise up into the right arm, soften with the right shoulder. Lengthen the left leg back as far as you can. Enjoy a couple of breaths here as you slowly release down with that right hand. Slide back into your plank. Nice strong position, and you can slowly come down, knees, chest onto your chaturanga. If you're ready and warm and wish to work stronger, gently drawing up and then slowly release. And gently extend back up into your downward dog. So raising up into the hips. Breathe. Left leg extends to the sky. And we're going to open up into the left hip and release that heel towards the buttocks. And this is where you're going to challenge that left heel to lengthen back towards the floor, just as far as you feel comfortable. It may not be far, but just imagine you're going to take that foot all the way down to the floor, lengthening it over, keeping the arms into the mat, breathing. And then slowly come back, bringing your hips square to the mat, and then swinging forward with that left knee as you bring the knee between the hands and extend the sole of that right foot up to the sky. So we're going to draw upwards through the upper body first, open into your right hip flexor, and then gently come and lay yourself down onto those forearms just to breathe. And then you can choose to extend the arms out or rest with the forehead onto the back of the hands. Just slowly breathing, enjoying the rest, enjoying the space, enjoying the breather. And in your own time, we'll just gently, when we're ready, walk our hands then back towards that left knee as we lift up with the upper body. Tuck your right toes under, and then we'll step back into your downward dog with your left leg. Gently walk the heels. And this time we're going to lengthen back with that left leg, just so that we can now lift up onto the right toes, eyes draw forward, step through with your left foot, soften into the shoulders, and then step forward with your right foot, eyes are to the knees. Just pause here. We're going to inhale, raise forward into the eyes, and exhale, release forward and down with the eyes. Slowly, when you're ready, bending into your knees, And then it's up to you how far down you wish to take your buttocks so that you can just now gently come and sit down onto your mat. So we're gently going to lengthen forward into the legs and then bring soles of the feet together. So let's just come and sit together. I'm going to bring my blanket just under my hips. So we're going to sit forward. My heart's been going. Feeling a bit puffed. I don't know about you guys. Funny how some days you can really feel quite exhausted and then other days you're all right. It's always quite hot in the living space here too, so that's no excuse. So let's bring the soles of your feet together, holding onto the feet, and just gently allow yourself to just gently flutter into your knees, moving into a butterfly. So we're just going to start to calm through the body, through the mind, breathing rate, heart rate, and just so that we can settle ourselves down for a relaxation shortly. So bringing your hands, or sorry, I should say your elbows or your forearms onto the calves or shins, and just gently, instead of rounding into the spine, lengthen forward, so soften the shoulders down. Challenge your heart to lengthen forward. And breathe. Breathe into that inner thigh space. And then just slowly, as you release, come all the way back. Lift up with your knees, but now open the legs out to either side. So you can take the legs out. This time we're going to bring our hands just gently in and behind our hips and buttocks so that you can just gently lengthen yourself a little bit further forward. So you've just really expanded into that inner thigh. Allow the toes to draw upward. Quite often there's a tendency for the toes to soften in. If you can, open them out and you'll really start to activate through that inner thigh. Sorry, that might be a bit hallelujah for you, John. Lengthen out with your left leg. Open back with that right hand. So I've just taken my right hand and I've scooped it into the small of my lower back. That's encouraged my eyes to open out to the right. And I'm just going to gently lengthen over to the left, wherever my left hand can reach, along my left leg. And just gently allow myself to draw inwards, opening out with those toes and extending myself forward over the left leg. Breathe. Good. One more breath. And then slowly release, come all the way up. Let's do the same to the other side. So taking the right arm down, scoop that left hand behind and into the small of the back as you just gently extend over to the right. Beautiful. Opening with the feet, with the legs. We're just going to do that once more to either side, working with our extended arms. So now just taking the left arm out along that left leg. Either taking that right hand behind the back or scooping it up and over as you lengthen over and extend that right arm all the way over towards the left as far as you can, trying to keep your right hip down on the buttocks and towards the floor of the mat. Breathing. Looking under your right extended armpit so that you're not sort of folding forward, you're actually opening through the right side of your rib cage. And then we'll inhale up and exhale over, swapping sides, either taking the left arm behind the back or over the body as you choose. Breathe and expand. And then slowly inhale up and exhale, release down. Let's bring those legs in together, given we're bouncing at the knees. And then just at this moment, we're going to take ourselves down onto the floor. So get yourself into a position which you can now comfortably lie on your mat with your body face up. So lying yourself down, and just take a moment to then bring your knees in towards your chest one at a time. Softening your shoulders, tucking in with your chin, knees towards the body, and just gently hug them in towards the spine. Giving yourself a little bit of time to just adjust to the fact that you're now lying down. Even if you like, wiggle those knees from side to side or take the hips, swing them from side to side, just a little. And then taking the feet to the floor. Rest with your arms down by your side. Keeping your knees bent if you choose, or alternatively lengthening out into the legs. I like to lift my hips and then just drop my hips straight back to the mat and then lengthen out with the legs one at a time. I'd like you now just to close in with your eyes and just start to observe from the top of the head all the way down the body to the toes, and just be aware as you observe of how the body is resting. Throughout this opportunity, as you take this opportunity, just make any adjustments that you need to. So that might mean that you need to tuck in with your chin, you need to lengthen into the shoulders, you need to ensure that you're resting evenly on the shoulders. You may need to bring your arms a little closer to the body or take them further away. You want to ensure there's no tension between the upper arm and the rib cage. Just relax into your fingers, into the toes. Make sure the back and the buttocks, the hips are even. And the legs, wherever they are, whether they're bent or the legs are outstretched, just allow them to be soft and relaxed. Let the toes quietly flop to the sides. And as you remember, think about the breathing which we did at the start of the class. It was a Nadi Shodan alternative practice, so pranayama, which means breathing. A breathing practice called Nadi Shodan, which is alternate nostril breathing. Remember how we inhaled for the count of 4, we paused for the count of 2, and exhaled for the count of 4. Let's see if we can do that again. And remember to inhale for 4, pause for 2, exhale for 4, and even pause for 2 before you start again. So just slowly for the next few minutes, see if you can now just quietly work at your pace. Inhaling for 4, pausing for 2, exhaling for 4, pausing for 2, and starting again.
quietly take your time to just gently bring awareness back to the here and the now. Quietly wiggling with your fingers, your toes, bending the knees, rotating the wrists, curling yourself in, and then just gently rocking from side to side. Quietly curling to the side. Opening with your eyes. And gently drawing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Just bringing your hands into prayer. Closing with your eyes and taking a moment to just observe how you're feeling now compared to when you started your practice today. What's changed? What's altered? What's been the biggest impact for you? Taking a moment of gratitude for taking the time that you have given yourself for your practice today. A whole hour dedicated entirely to you. How wonderful to be able to have this opportunity. Thank you so much for sharing it with me, everyone. Namaste. Thank you so much, guys.